Join me in prayer. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor and protection for all. I'm allegiance to thee, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please join me as I pray. Father God, as always, we're so thankful for the blessings of this new day and the rain you've provided. And Lord, you don't have to live here very long for any of us to know how blessed we are to live in this community, in this great county. And Father, as we finish out this year and look forward to the new year ahead, we just want to pray a special blessing of not only these leaders that have brought us this far, but all new leaders that are going to occupy the seats that they now occupy. And the future of our county is in their hands. We pray wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and so many blessings on them that they will conduct the business of this county to benefit all the citizens. And we praise you that you're in control and not us. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Casterline,
Here.
Commissioner Russo,
Here.
Commissioner Laubach,
Here.
Judge Mills.
Here. We have a quorum, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We have a couple of people. Hello, good morning again, and welcome. We have a couple of people on the citizens to be heard. Kay Adams, would you like to come up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kay Adams with Wings Rescue. A lot of you already know me. I'm mainly here because we have an urgent situation in Aransas County and I need to set up, I guess, with Ray to be able to get with appropriate people to come up with a plan. We have avian flu in Aransas County, which is becoming very serious. And we need to work together to help prevent the spread of it. So that's why I know I can't do that much here, and this is kind of a quick thing, but whoever the appropriate people, so all the county people are aware what needs to be done, the protocol and that type of thing that we need to do to help nip this. It's kind of like the COVID for the humans, but it's with avian, and it's getting really bad. And sadly, we got something else coming in now that's hurting a lot of the pelicans on top of the avian flu. Nobody knows what it is yet. There is no way. They don't have a cure. They don't have a vaccine. And even if they did have a vaccine, how do you do that with all the wild birds? I've been deeply involved with this, right up to the head people at Texas Parks and Wildlife, as well as USDA, the labs around the country, all that kind of stuff, because we're deep involved with it, sadly. So anyway, like I said, the main thing here was for me to be able to get an appointment as soon as possible with the appropriate people so we can work together to get this stopped. And I want to thank Judge Mills. We're going to miss you.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we thank you for all you do for not only the community, but the birds in our community. Thank you. Mr. Hutt.
First of all, Judge, have a happy retirement. We will miss you. A lot of us Rockport boys kind of think of you as the quintessential Rockportian. We hope that you'll be around to give Mr. Garza your advice and your wisdom over the years. And we'll also hope that Mr. Garza will be willing to come to you and ask you for advice. I'm here to talk today about something going on in the city. At Tuesday's Rockport City Council meeting, the Chief of Police is requesting permission to install 6 fixed pole mounted automatic license plate cameras in and around the city. It's on a consent item agenda. The information captured by their readers, including license plate number, the date, time, and location of every scan, is being collected and is being put sometimes into regional sharing These enormous databases hold innocent motorist location information for years on end, and there's no oversight to it. The tracking of people's location constitute a significant invasion of privacy, which can reveal many things about their lives, such as what friends, doctors, protests, political events, and churches a person may visit. This is Rockport. This is America. This is not for it. We should all know that after 9/11, we all heard about the Patriot Act, and we all heard about how it was going to go into effect, and it was not going to target people. But what did we learn from Snowden? Absolutely, it does. You cannot give power like this to the government without it being abused. I spent 3 years in Romania, and I traveled extensively throughout Eastern Europe and the Soviet bloc. And the one thing that I was told repeatedly was not about we had lack of choices, not about this, but about the surveillance apparatus and how it destroyed the very fabric of the society. You created a society where you were afraid to speak your mind, you were afraid to go places, you were afraid to tell your neighbor. Some fathers and parents never told their children their political leanings because they didn't want to put pressure on their children for leaving. In Rockport, we already have a police department that is politicized. 2 years ago, during the budget hearings, the city manager and maybe the mayor, along with the police chief, had 4 police officers show up at the budget hearings to intimidate those taxpayers who were coming to ask for the ungodly request of a no new revenue rate. We know where this leads. Please contact the local city councilman. Please contact the mayor. He's back here. Tell him that this is not China. This is not Singapore. This is not some socialist fascist country where we're going to monitor where everybody goes. They're going to tell you it's for protection. It won't end up this way. Mr. Garza, when he was on school board, told me one thing. He said that Aransas County needs to be a leader. Too many times we follow. Let's be a leader when it comes to freedom, transparency, and open, and what's best for our citizens. Let's not follow other these places. I can't help it what Houston does when I travel through their community. I can't help in what happened when I'm on the interstate. But we do have the power, and we can decide what goes on here. Please tell our city council that no, Rockport is not the place for this type of surveillance. This is not something we want. Thank you, guys.
Okay. We have only one item on the consent agenda, and that's to approve the minutes. Do I have a motion? Motion made. Second, Commissioner Casterline. All those in favor? Oh, wait a minute, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 2.
I move to accept the Rockport Center for the Arts Summer Showers presentation.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Castelline, and welcome. And you had quite a party yesterday. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for attending. We couldn't have done it without you. Good morning. Pleased to be here to announce this presentation, which is going to go up on the screen here. Summer Showers by George Lundeen. He is an artist from the state of Colorado. He lives in Loveland, Colorado, and that's where his studio is located. He has international recognition. What you see here is one of 3 elements. This element for Summer Showers is called JJ and Murphy. So it's obviously the boy's name and his dog's name. The concept for this sculpture involves 3 separate elements of children and a pet playing with water hoses, cast in bronze, titled Summer Showers. The sculpture is a full set water feature considered life size. Each element of the sculpture will measure 5 to 6 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and 5 feet in depth. Each of the 3 elements weighs approximately 300 to 400 pounds. This is a limited edition. It's a full set by Lundeen Sculptures Limited, and it's number 16 of number 21. So we, the Art Center, are acquiring the 16th edition, and there's 5 additional pieces that can be acquired by other donors. So you could see that it's a very popular sculpture. I mean, to cast 16 sculptures out of 21 is quite a lot. The location of the sculpture has been envisioned as a key piece for the new Aransas County Courthouse. in Rockport, Texas for prominent placement near the intersection of Magnolia and Cornwall. And it would be in the Celebration Plaza. And the vantage point will be determined in consultation with Aransas County officials who will manage the sculpture installation site. Ownership of the sculpture will be retained by the Rockport Center for the Arts, and annual maintenance will be at the cost of the Rockport Center for the Arts. See if I can get the other two elements. These are the boys trio. There's three kids there playing with a hose. The whole thing is made of bronze. And then you have the girls. You can see that they have an umbrella and they're playing with that. This is what the whole set looks like together. Obviously, we're not going to waste the county's water and throw it into the grass. So we know the aim is to turn it into a recycling fountain with a reservoir that will have the water, and then it will go into a drain, and then the fountain will recirculate. So that's, I hope that you agree that it's a really beautiful American wholesome family values piece. And we're very excited about this acquisition. Some considerations about the artist. He's a native of Holdridge, Nebraska. He was a Fulbright Hays Scholar studying at the American de Belle Art in Florence, Italy, where he learned sculpting. He holds a Master's of Fine Arts at from the University of Illinois and a bachelor's from Hastings College in Nebraska. He was in 1978 and 79 Texas A&M artist in residence. His established studio, as I said earlier, is in Loveland, Colorado. He has been commissioned to sculpt portraits and interpretive works alike for universities, municipalities, foundations, and corporations. He's a very, very sought after talent. Mr. Lundin is a member of the National Academy of Design and the National Sculpture Society. And he says, I am attracted to the human figure, and it will be enough to keep me busy for the rest of my life. He is represented by Sorel Sky. It's a very big time gallery in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and in Durango, Colorado. What I have next is basically the site that it was provided to me by John Strothman from Long-Term Recovery here in Aransas County, and you have their Celebration Plaza in the orange on the far left. It's the community center. And then to the far right, where you see a large yellow triangle, it's pointing to the site where the sculpture will be installed. So there's some other things to consider. So a pre-designed concrete footing or base will be constructed and financed by the county through their capital project according to the artist's footprint and stabilizing bin specifications in consultation with Rockport Center for the Arts, because we obviously want to make sure these sculptures remain forever. So they're being installed in such a way that they will tolerate 140-mile-per-hour storm. A dedication nameplate, including the artist's name, to sculpture title, the dedication date, and other pre-approved information with the county and the donors for the sculpture will be financed by Rockport Center for the Arts. So some of the timelines are the optimum date for installation would be the September, October of next year timeframe after completion of construction of the courthouse, which is being projected at this time in September of next year. The installation date will be tentatively based on completion in assembling and welding and finishing work by the artist, which is all happening at Art Castings in Loveland, Colorado, the foundry. In conjunction with Aransas County, we will agree to a dedication event at a later date. We'll invite the artists and county officials and other leaders in the community. And the art center, our center is willing to pay for this reception and to make sure that it's a really grand event for our community. Maintenance and conservation, as I said earlier, will be the part of the Rockport Center for the Arts. So we have a conservator in Houston, Texas. His expertise is treating metals such as bronze, and he will come every year, typically the month of March, to conserve all of our sculptural bronze assets, including this one. Publicity also, one of the things that I believe in very strongly is that we should promote this statewide. This is a major acquisition, and we will do that and bring the sculpture to the forefront, as well as the new buildings, which will by then be built for the city and for the county. And that's my presentation. I hope that you will consider it. and that you want to partner with me and work with the Arts Center to make this happen.
Well,
Thank you.
why wouldn't we? We'd be foolish if we didn't. I mean, your organization is wonderful and it does great things for the county and you're remarkable. I just have to say that in public.
Sir.
Thank you very much for this presentation and we look forward to working with you.
If there's
I'm
no
sure.
questions, I'll just,
I have some questions.
yes, ma'am.
First, I want to compliment you and thank you for bringing this to us. I attended the opening of the facility on Austin Street Saturday night, and the judge said was just phenomenal. I talked to business owners Saturday night and Sunday following, and they just could not say enough great things about what that project is going to do for this community. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I worked on two sculpture fundraising projects when I was in Corpus Christi for the quincentennial. And to be able to acquire a sculpture of this magnitude without our having to finance it is an unbelievable gift. So thank you for that. Now, and I appreciate the fact that you are going to do most of the, all of the maintenance. And you didn't mention, but I see in your information that you are also going to obtain the waterworks and perform the plumbing design at your expense.
Yes, I'm sorry, I skipped over that
Yeah.
section, but yeah, our plumber Kurt Kangas of Morolis Art Company, who installed our lighthouse tower, lighthouse fountain. It's a 21-foot granite tower currently on our campus. He will handle all of that and we will pay for the waterwork features, including the reservoir tank.
And that also is terrific, and I thank you. However, I would like to know if there is an estimate of what the base construction fee would be.
John, would you like to address that?
The county's already has in the contract with DLF to provide the water and the power service for the pump. And what we have left to do is, because it was after the estimate, the budget or after the bid was taken, is basically a drain that comes out of the middle. The concrete's going to be sloped.
Okay,
It's going to have a drain to the reservoir, a drain from the reservoir for overflow, which is just PVC pipe, and 3 water lines. And 3 footings that are only going to be 12 inches deep. So we're only talking hundreds of dollars, not.
this is just incredible. This is
Yeah.
a wonderful gift to our
It
community.
exactly is. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item 3 is quite lengthy. I think there's 15 different sections to it, but we're going to combine it into one motion.
I move to approve a permanent 60-foot wide public road easement and right of way for Laura Garza Road, Whispering Woods Road, and Bernardi Road to be accomplished via easement agreements with each of the following property owners: Alan and Paul Paulabari, 300 Whispering Woods Road, Jerry Hawes Jr., 322 Whispering Woods Road, and 342 Whispering Woods Road. Crescencio Oliveira, 121 Laura Garza Road, Kyle and Janie Loney, 101 Laura Garza Road, Mandy Knighton, 102 Laura Garza Road, Boyd and Brenda Clark, 142 Bernardi Road, Serapio and Ruth Garza, 141 Bernardi Road, Joshua Macklin, 129 Bernardi Road, Jimmy and Patricia Garza, 121 Bernardi Road, and 124 Laura Garza Road. William Jr. and Ann Page, 138 Philip Lane. Melvin and Jan Wimberly, 324 Whispering Woods Road, and Bernadette Brown, 120 Laura Garza Road. To update the county road map to include the easements as an unpaved public road, to authorize the county judge to execute necessary documents and to direct the conveyance documents to be recorded in the office of the Aransas County Clerk.
I second that.
Motion made and seconded twice. Any discussion?
I would just like to thank David Reed and his staff for their work in getting this accomplished, because this is something will definitely help the drainage, and thank the property owners for working with you, David.
This has been a long, arduous process.
Been going on for what, 6 years, 7 years now?
Long.
Quite a while. Any? Got any input or just want to see if there's any more questions, I should say.
Yeah, just any more questions?
All right, if not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 4.
I move to amend
I
the
mean. Okay,
motion as presented in the agenda to authorize the county judge to sign the necessary documents to renew our Gov OS Seamless Docs contract for another 1-year term in the amount of $22,858. No new monies, and it was only amended to add the price.
Motion made and seconded twice. Again. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach.
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 5.
Move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign an interlocal corporation agreement between Fort Bend County and Aransas County for medical examiner services.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded. As, well, you probably don't know, but our 2 medical examiners that have been helping in the past are so overloaded that we have to look for a 3rd place. So Fort Bend has
I
come to
have
play,
a question,
of course.
and thank you for explaining that. I wondered why we were going with another one. One of the items, it says the possibility of up to 2 1-year renewal periods, and these will be brought to court for approval.
Yes,
All right. And then in the interlocal cooperation agreement, and I'm curious because I've seen in the accounts payable where we're paying for the examination fees, and they range anywhere from 2,800 to 4,500 or more. Is there something that has occurred that has required us to go out more frequently for those reports?
It just depends on the types of situations that are occurring in Aransas County at any given time. Oftentimes, our justices of the peace will have to have an inquest when there is a death, an unattended death specifically. And the reason we have a range of fees is we have different providers. You'll see in this interlocal that there are set fees that have been
Yes.
negotiated with Fort Bend County. So we know what it will cost in advance every time. But again, we have to go with whoever can provide the services at that given moment. And sometimes we need to have more options. So Fort Bend has kindly offered to enter into this interlocal with us to provide another option.
No, I'm glad they found another option because, as I mentioned, in looking at the accounts payable list, I've seen where the fees have ranged markedly, and here it looks like it'll be 2,600 per postmortem, and then if additional tests are run. I just didn't know if COVID or some new regulations from the state or federal government had stepped up the number of tests that had to be done.
no.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 6.
I move to approve the proposed amendment number 1 to the McDonald Engineering contract for the shoreline restoration project along Bayshore Drive. No new money. The amendment is to shift money from the construction and administration task to permitting and design tasks.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Commissioner Cheney, any discussion?
I have a question about this, John. Well, I have a couple. Why are we shifting the money from one area to the other? And it's on the same project, correct?
Right.
Okay.
The project approval process has taken so long that all of the engineering funds that were available have been consumed.
All right, and so we're pulling it from construction
Correct.
administration. Is that going to have an impact down the road when we need to have the?
Our
project?
interlocal with the city of Rockport is if anything beyond the contract amount will be covered by the city of Rockport.
Okay, so there may be an impact, but it shouldn't impact the county.
It won't impact the county.
Thank you.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 7.
I move to approve renewing an interlocal agreement with San Patricio County to provide technical supervision to inspect and service the county's intoxilizer equipment and to be available to testify as a witness if necessary for the cost of $13,000 for 1 year, beginning January 1st, 2023.
Motion made
Second.
and second, Commissioner Casterline. Any discussion?
Since the sheriff isn't here, Mr. Brooks, are you prepared to answer questions on this? My question is, what was the rationale provided for a 15% increase in this cost? If they gave one?
Commissioner, it's not unusual for us to have a multi-year agreement that when it comes up for renewal, an increase is requested. It's just probably due to increased personnel costs. We have to have a technical supervisor to provide these services for our intoxilizer in order to use those test results in court proceedings. And we do recommend that this be approved.
I plan to approve it. I just wondered if they had given a rationale for a 15% increase, which is rather steep.
There was no rationale given to me, Commissioner, but I do think that it'd been a while since we'd had an increase, if I recall correctly.
What's the dollar amount and is it budgeted somewhere?
It's $13,000 and
I mean,
Yes,
the
ma'am,
15%
it in
is,
the budget. We do have a department for the intoxilizer. Right now, we have budgeted 11,500, which is what we have paid in the past. So it will require an amendment to increase it.
so the increase is in the neighborhood of 1,700, and you're gonna have to find $1,700 someplace else.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
aye, unanimous. Item number 10.
8.
Or. Man, I'm jumping. All right.
I move
Number
to
8.
approve the November 2022 indigent healthcare report.
Second.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Castelline. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 9.
I move to approve the updated job description for human resources assistant and new job description for human resources generalist. I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Ms. Stone? I want to confirm there will only be 2 positions active in the HR department at this time, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's what the attachment that I had.
Okay.
given you.
And I noticed that, and I understand the concept of having sort of a career path. I think that's a very good idea. But the generalist position doesn't require any more experience or training from the assistant. It has a high school diploma or GED and either 2 or 3 years of related work experience. I see that there are some qualifications they have to have, but as far as like the training and experience, it would seem like there might be a step up. I just wondered what the rationale was for that.
In my rationale, the 2 to 3 years experience for the HR assistant would be more office related experience, where the other one would require more HR experience, 2 to 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Again, item number 10.
I move to approve the updated job description for Lieutenant Training Coordinator, Deputy Sheriff or the Sheriff's Office. I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
I have a discussion on this. I made an error. I did not reflect the agenda appropriately. Commissioner Casterline, this is for the part-time elections coordinator job description. I do apologize. So if you will kindly revise your agenda motion, this is again my error.
All right, I move to approve the part-time elections coordinator job description and posting the position now with the start date of January 2023. I'll second that.
Motion amended and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Stroud,
I'll just answer.
would
any
you please
questions if you
explain
have
this to
any.
us? I'm trying to get through number 10 for some reason.
Just,
What
you have
is
any
the intent of using this part-time position?
This part-time position, their main duties would be to oversee the whole ballot by mail process in the office. It is a constant trickle, well, I don't say trickle, but a constant flow of ballot by mail applications and requests that we get.
And what kind of requests are you seeing?
Ballot by mail.
Oh, ballot
absentee
by
voting,
mail.
Yes.
Any
Thank
other
you.
discussion? Thank you, sir. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 11.
I move to approve excluding rubber steel-toed boots for Aransas County Employee Handbook. 2B-10 reimbursement policy, steel-toed boots, which set a maximum reimbursement for steel-toed boots for $175 per 12-month period.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
David, a question. I think I understand the agenda memo, but I just want to confirm. They will still be able to get those boots, but they will be purchased out of the department funds. It won't be a reimbursement to them. Is that correct?
I'm not sure I understood that, but let me explain.
Okay.
So the county pays for Road and Bridge to have uniforms. You know, we lease them. They're laundered by this company we lease from. And part of that uniform budget is steel-toed shoes. $175 annually for steel-toed shoes or boots. And you know, this is a nasty job, and they're tough on all that stuff. Now, sometimes there's other things they need, protective supplies that would include safety vests, gloves, and rubber boots. You know, they're out there in the storm. They're out there after the hurricane. They're out there when we have a tornado. And sometimes they're standing in water that's 2 foot deep, and that $175 boot is not what you want in that water. You need rubber boots. I don't think the intent of the policy was to if you spent the $175 in work boots, you couldn't have safety boots.
Right.
I don't think that was the intent. And so I'm asking the court to clarify that.
Okay, so this is just a clarification. They'll still have the $175 for the steel-toe boots. This will
And-
just allow for others.
This would allow for us to buy rubber boots out of our protective supply budget.
Would
Thank
that be
you.
still?
That's good.
rubber boot?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. That being explained, I feel better because I was confused. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous.
Move to approve budget line item transfer.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Russo. Are there any?
We have none at this time.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Item 13.
I move to approve accounts payable and payroll liability.
Second.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Casterline. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Now is the time for any elected official or department head that has anything to be brought up to the public to do so now.
I have a question. And I'm not sure if, maybe Misty can answer it. When we receive these reports about the county court at law, credit for community service, the payments, those sorts of things,
Yes, ma'am.
I notice about 93% of the community service hours are regularly going to, is it attendance at AA or NA meetings?
That's correct.
And so what we're saying is you may go to that meeting in lieu of performing any community service work in the community.
And that is by statute.
That was going to be my next question. So the Texas legislature came up with that?
That is correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other discussion?
Mike? It's-
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge Mills. Over the weekend, the Aransas County Airport, along with event sponsors and partners, we hosted the 3rd annual Coastal Bend Holiday Fly-In. And so I'd like to take a moment to tell you all a little bit about it and to thank some people. So first of all, I'd like to thank my staff. Those guys worked really, really hard setting up, and we're still taking it down even this morning, but they did a great job. I'd like to thank all the volunteers that showed up, gave their time. We had folks come in from San Antonio. One gentleman just walked up and said, I'd like to volunteer, put a vest on him. That guy worked as many hours as I did. I'd like to give a special thanks to El Morales, county employee. She helped with our graphic arts in getting all of the ads and everything set up so that they could be sent over to the banner shop. And we don't have all the data yet, but our early estimates put the visitor count somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 for both days combined. I know at one point we had 500 people walking around on the flight side. So when you, based on my math, I think we can say we had a couple thousand show up altogether. We had a neat little presentation, kind of impromptu by the Coast Guard rescue helicopter crew. They didn't think they were going to be able to make it, but they did, and that was a big hit. They did a demonstration with their basket lift and lifted somebody up into the helicopter. Then we had the Army came by with a Black Hawk helicopter, made a low pass down the runway, and that was a big attention getter too. That's a big airplane if anybody had never seen it. We had 19 warbirds on the ramp, and some of those sold rides. Most of them were static. There was a P-51 Mustang, a Glamorous Glen 3, a B-25 Mitchell, the Yellow Rose, and along with a number of T-6 Texans, BT-13s, and then a Stearman biplane, which just happens to be the model of plane that was the very first landing at Aransas County Airport after it was built in 1943. So that nostalgia wasn't lost on me. But the skies over Aransas County are no stranger to warbird flights. We've part of the Rockport charm is the fact that the Navy's trained here since World War II. Saturday was capped by a touching playing of taps with a T-6 missing man formation that flew over the crowd in honor of the airmen that lost their lives in Dallas at the air show in November. Through our fundraising efforts, we were able to provide introductory flights, Young Eagle introductory flights for about 45 kids, and then discovery flights for another 25 or so adults. We had one plane develop a brake leak and brake fluid leak, and so it was taken out. So that was limited. We hoped that number would be up around 50. In some cases, fly-ins like this and air shows and Young Eagle flights are the only way that you can introduce a child to aviation. And that's sad because it's a rewarding and high-paying career field. Older pilots and mechanics, air traffic controllers are retiring en masse daily. And as a result, aviation is experiencing record shortages due to this natural attrition without being able to replenish the ranks fast enough. Aviation hasn't done itself any favors with its reputation of exclusivity. If mom or dad or grandma or grandpa didn't already have an aviation background, then there's a very slim chance that their child or grandchild would ever be steered toward it. I myself was steered toward the United States Air Force by a family friend and a great uncle that flew in World War II. But we need a clearer entrance for kids to get into that pipeline. And we need to have aviation taught in our high schools, or maybe even earlier, just like welding and instrumentation. There are many high-paying aviation jobs right here in South Texas, and there's no reason our kids shouldn't have the first shot at them right out of high school. In 2023, I and other like-minded people will be asking for the Commissioner's Court support as we try to encourage our ISD to adopt an aviation curriculum at the high school level, again, or maybe even earlier, middle school. With the support of people like Jerry Brown and his wife, Katrina, Cody Stewart and his wife, Megan, my wife, Reagan, and I will continue to raise awareness for and raise money for air shows and fly-ins. With the support of the Commissioner's Court, we can get aviation taught in our high schools. And at this time, I'd like to take a moment to offer a special thanks to our event sponsors and participants, and then tell you about channel 3, 6, and 10 all came out. That's pretty spectacular. The Rockport Pilot covered our event, and I imagine they'll cover some of the data whenever I give it to Mr. Probst. I'd like to thank GTech 360 for sponsoring the event. They were our headline sponsor. We had IBC Bank, Airplanes and Coffee was our 501c3 partner for the event. We raised over $25,000 for this event, and we really didn't start fundraising until midsummer. So imagine what we can do if we start in January. Ron Hoover Marine, Sterling Air out of Corpus Christi, Richardson Aviation, Commissioner Pat Russo, thank you very much. Pilar Engineering, Skyrider Aviation, Erecta Tube Hangars, Axe Aviation, Griffith and Brundrett. Thank you, Jerry. ABC Pest Control, the First State Bank, GSM Insurance, FPS, and then also some of the other folks that participated. Angel Flight was there. The FAA safety team was there, gave 2 briefings. Corpus Christi Air Traffic Control, Experimental Aircraft Association, Young Eagles, they provided the flights and helped square that away with the kids and parents getting the waivers signed. I'd like to thank the Civil Air Patrol and finally the Commemorative Air Force for showing up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it was quite a show.
If you got to get out there, I'm sorry I didn't see you. I spent all day, both days, just about in the parking lot because that definitely became a lessons learned and best practices going forward that we'll talk about.
I believe there's another issue or thing that went on this weekend that brought a lot of people to town, along with the opening of the.
And we had
RCA.
folks that went to both.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And thank you for Commissioner Castelline for showing up and Commissioner Russo. Saw you out there.
And you got a lot of good coverage on all the TV channels last night. I watched a couple of them.
Yeah, my wife just sent me one on the video.
I also met a commissioner from Live Oak, Preston Canali, and he was very, very impressed with everything that was going on and wished that his county could get behind something like that. And I talked to him a little bit about we are going forward at getting an aviation program in the high schools. And he said that he would be glad to assist. And I talked to CJ Wax, our former mayor, and he said he would be glad to help too.
It's happening at about 30 other high schools in the state. There's no reason our kids should be left out of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
I went out, I was not able to, I didn't have the opportunity to walk around the grounds very much. I had a full plate of grandchildren. Anyway, but the thing that impressed me most about that was whenever you came in, the first person you saw was smiling. And the last person you saw was smiling, and everybody in between was smiling. And I didn't see one upset person or one person that looked like they were being neglected or anything. Your staff and the volunteers were incredible, just incredible.
Thank you very much.
As
I
a matter of
appreciate
fact,
that.
my wife went into the dollar store over there and they had this flight of aircraft go over that looked like they were having a dog fight. So I got to see a little bit of it anyway, but
Thank you.
we
Thank you.
appreciate the airport.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I guess it's my turn. As you know, all things come to an end, and this is my last commissioners court meeting. I first off would like to thank my wife for being here today, and two of my 3 kids. One of them is a busy dentist here in town, and the other one's a busy pilot from Houston that made the trip, and their wives. Thank you very much. Penny and I will be going to England this next weekend to spend Christmas and New Year's, which is also my mother-in-law's 98th birthday. And we're going to have a good time. It's been one hell of a ride or adventure as being the county judge. And I just want to say that what an honor it's been. Aransas County, serving the people of Aransas County as their judge. As in everything, there's been a lot of ups and downs. Downs mostly since August the 25th, 2017, Hurricane Harvey. Then a couple of months later, we had a snowstorm. We've had a couple of floods, one hell of a freeze, and worldwide pandemic. And I truly believe we have come out sincerely better off than we were before. I've been blessed to work with the finest team that anyone could possibly assemble. I would name them all, but I'd leave out someone that's important. I've done that in the past. You know who you are. We have worked close together for many years, and you know how special you are to me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Ups, I'd have to say it's Cedar Bio. It's been in my family for, well, I can go back to when I was 6 years old and Cedar Bio. So that's been a while. It was closed in the early 70s by a man. In fact, it was Governor Clements. 501c3 was formed, and they worked hard at getting it open again for over 7 years before they came to me and asked if the county would get involved. The court agreed, and after another 6 years, we opened it with a lot of help, and one special helper is sitting here today, Representative Jeannie Morrison, and thank you. We got it open in September 2014. The effect of our ecosystem was unbelievable and fast. Juvenile redfish were found in Mesquite Bay in 10 days or 2 weeks after it was open, and they hadn't been there in years. The red blue crab were plentiful within 2 months. And that made everybody happy, the fishermen, the crabbers, and of course, the hooping cranes. Then came Hurricane Harvey, which you know what happened, they closed Cedar Bio. That's when I met with my long-term recovery team and said, all the things we have on our plate, I'm going to add one more. And they looked at me like I was crazy, but we added that one more. Now I have to mention someone, because without John Strothman's stubbornness, we might have missed out. John refused to take a no from FEMA and hammered at them continuously until they found a way to finance it this last time. And as you know, it's opened recently and things are going well. I believe good things are going to happen in the future of Aransas County. And it's been through a lot, and we have come out better and stronger. Now, that being said, we will see who the hypocrites are soon when they put their names on buildings that are being built that they were against from the beginning. I believe Judge-elect Garza has his heart's in the right place, and I know he wants to do good for the county. I just pray that he distance himself from some of the people that got him elected. With that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless you all, and thank you. Okay. All right, if nothing else, I would like to have a motion.
I move to adjourn. At the same time, I'd like to invite everybody here to stay for what I hope is a surprise retirement reception for Judge Mills.
Well, I was wondering why the hell all these people were in there.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.